Hello, everyone. Our organizational project was between McDonald's and Burger King, and it was done by myself, Nathan Hall, Cole, Roberto, and Justin. McDonald's and Burger King are both well-renowned franchises that are known throughout the world. Both of these companies cater towards the food industry, particularly the fast food industry. Both of these companies have been in business for decades. We decided to choose both of these organizations because they're both very big brands here in the United States and across the world. Next slide, please. Some background on McDonald's. The founders of McDonald's were Richard and Maurice McDonald, and they created McDonald's. They were children from poor Irish immigrants in New Hampshire in the early 1900s. They were a poor family and watched their father struggle a lot growing up. The brothers originally tried out making movies in California before moving into the burger business. The start of the burger business was not great, and they eventually went to work on perfecting their burgers because it was the most popular item. Ray Kroc is often credited with the success of franchising McDonald's, but the brothers already had many chains under them. Ray Kroc is often credited for being the founder of McDonald's. He is not, but he was the one who made them famous as they are today. McDonald's is a fast food restaurant that is the world's leading food service organization. They're in more than 100 countries around the world and are on 6 continents. They also have over 30,000 restaurants worldwide. They have one of the most recognizable brands to almost anyone. They also care about the environment and want to try and help preserve it for future generations. They promote wanting to help save the environment for future generations, but have failed miserably because of their factory farms. They also help share their food and safety knowledge with others. Next slide, please. McDonald's identity. McDonald's has changed pretty drastically since it first started out. It started out as a restaurant with a few locations that eventually went nationwide and worldwide because of Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc is the reason why McDonald's has changed and evolved so much because of his idea of franchising the company all over. Another part of McDonald's identity is what they put into their food. There were always rumblings of them not serving good food. It went worldwide when the Super Size Me movie came out. The identity of McDonald's has a negative identity because of the processed foods, high fat, and chemicals used in their food. McDonald's also does not have Ronald McDonald as part of their advertising anymore like they used to. He used to be in all their promotional material, but he was phased out, but they have not officially retired the character. McDonald's uses team management and employee involvement by being flexible with schedules, helping employees achieve their career goals, and provides performance-based remuneration. Next slide, please. How McDonald's is portrayed in the media. The biggest stories that have contributed to McDonald's have come from the late 1980s to the last few years or so, and how they have been portrayed in the media is often more than not been mostly negative with McDonald's in the media. The one recent case where the media actually took the side of McDonald's was when a woman sued McDonald's for giving her third-degree burns and having her get skin grafts. The media made the woman out to be the villain in this case. However, many people and children were burned by McDonald's coffee. They also served their coffee 20 to 40 degrees higher than the competition. This is one instance where McDonald's was helped by the media. In the last 2 to 4 decades, the company has seen a lot of negativity in the media, whether it is the Super Size Me movie that got widespread media attention, the racism scandal in Virginia, beef fat and fries, pork slime, the poor sanitation in China, the monopoly scam, and the list goes on with how the media has portrayed McDonald's in a negative light. Next slide, please. McDonald's on the web. McDonald's has a big social media platform for a fast food restaurant. On some platforms, they have over 1 million followers, and on others, they have hundreds of thousands. They also have different social media accounts for different countries, as well as to further their online profile to the world. These other accounts that are targeted at certain countries also have millions of followers. They span social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and others. McDonald's on their social media tries to portray a humorous and relatable personality across their social media platforms. They still use their social media promoting their humorous and relatable nature when there is heavy criticism directed at them. While it's hard for McDonald's to reply to everyone, they do engage with their followers and reply. They also try to help customers who have experienced a problem at one of their locations through social media. And next slide.
McDonald's rights and rituals. McDonald's revolutionized the fast food industry by becoming the first fast food chain in history. Instead of cooking food to order, they prepared all food before to make sure the process was quicker and more efficient for the business. They prepare these burgers and leave them under heat lamps, and these would keep them warm until customers would order them, and then they would prepare it from there. We have seen many other fast food chains copy this same method because of McDonald's success and proven success. They revolutionized the game. You see all these places, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, Del Taco. All of them are similar to this in this sense. McDonald's also prides itself on having a strong workplace democracy. They realize, workplace democracy means realizing the standards for a democratic society, free speech, and human dignity, making sure that everybody's respected and they feel a part of the family in the workplace. McDonald's stakeholders. McDonald's considers its employees, customers, and suppliers stakeholders. They've also paired with the World Wildlife Fund to help find the raw materials that represented the biggest sustainable sourcing opportunities for it to prioritize. The Alliance for a Healthier Generation also paired with McDonald's in order to deal with social and environmental issues, including climate change and obesity. McDonald's headlines over the years. These are just a few of them. There's many over the years, but most of them are positive. McDonald's does a good job of this. You see, out of all of these up here, they all pretty much, put McDonald's in a positive light. McDonald's vegan burger, that's, a healthier burger. McDonald's planning a mass walkout from sexual harassment and assault allegations. McDonald's giving back to the community in a form of meals to teachers all across the country. McDonald's workers across the country walk off job on other sexual assault. They do a pretty good job of PR at McDonald's. And then now we've done enough about McDonald's. Let's move on to Burger King. So Burger King's background. Burger King is the second largest fast food chain in the world. Burger King claims to have had 14,000 stores in 100 different countries. Burger King specializes in flame-broiled fast food hamburgers. They use division of labor to increase efficiency in the workplace and make sure that the food gets to the customer in a timely fashion. Division of labor, assigning employees to a limited number of specialized tasks. They do this by just making sure that each employee is doing a good job of one thing, and that increases efficiency of a business overall.
Now moving on to where did Burger King originate from? Back in 1953, Burger King was originally called Insta Burger King. Insta Burger King was founded by Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns in Jacksonville, Florida. The company was then taken over in 1954 by David Edgerton and James McLamore. Next slide, please. Burger King was then purchased by the Pillsbury Company in 1967. During this period of time, Burger King introduced the famous Whopper burger and had 274 restaurants across the United States. This resulted in a worth of about $18 million. The Burger King logo we all know today has been the same ever since 1998. Next slide, please. Burger King really took off when the Pillsbury Company executive Norman Brinker saw the potential for Burger King to outshine McDonald's in both sales and product quality. Brinker then started a series of commercials taking shots at McDonald's. This created the Burger Wars, as this was the first time political style ad that was used in the fast food industry. After Brinker's major brief impact he left on the company, Burger King was then owned by Grand Metropolitan. Grand Metropolitan already had a worldwide focus, as they were able to provide Burger King with soft drink contracts, partner with Walt Disney, and change their overall distribution methods. As time went on, Burger King decided to decline and compared to the other fast food competitors. TPG Capital then revived Burger King for $1.5 billion and introduced more restaurant-like concepts and ad campaigns. Shortly after, Burger King and Tim Hortons merged in 2014 as they were able to fully expand Burger King's menu offerings. Next slide, please.
Burger King's identity. Burger King recently rebranded. This is their first rebranding after 20 years. It has been completely changed from its logo to decor, menu boards, and merchandise. The color scheme of the uniforms has also changed. The look and design are suggestive of the 80s. The appeal of the design is to keep with the trends of vintage design that the younger generations crave. The change of the font used on their logo as well, as well as their menu is called the Flame, a proprietary font of Burger King. The logo in the past symbolized their commitment to fast food, and now it represents the chain's primary focus on their food. Next slide, please.
Now we have some Burger King headlines that are collected throughout the recent years. As we can see, most of the headlines are positive. In one of the headlines, it mentions how Burger King addresses the use of toxic forever chemicals in packaging. Next, we see how Burger King changes the diet of its cows. Burger King announced earlier in 2020 that select restaurants in 5 US cities such as New York, Miami, Portland, Los Angeles, and Austin will be serving burgers produced from reduced methane emission beef. The fast food chain's goal was to create a greener output stem from adding just 100 grams of lemongrass leaves to the cow's diet. This small addition resulted to the reduced output of methane, which is a greenhouse gas responsible for global warming. And then another headline that catches everyone's attention is how Burger King workers announced resignation with a sign outside the restaurant saying, "We all quit." In this instance, after about 9 workers quit their jobs at a Burger King in Lincoln, Nebraska, nearly simultaneously in June, some of them changed the location's marquee sign to explain why the restaurant would probably be understaffed. This headline relates back to our Chapter 9 reading, Conflict Management Processes. In this chapter, in relation to this headline, a concept that is really drawn out in this situation is intergroup conflict. In this case, we have a lot of the employees unsatisfied with the management style, how they're treating the general employees, and as well as the overall working conditions during the time. Next slide, please.
Burger King portrayed in the media. Many tomato pickers were underpaid. There was a protest against Burger King to bring attention and remind everyone of the low wages that were being paid. In another news clip, there was an Italian animal rights activist protest a Burger King in central Rome to bring attention to the conditions that animals face at the Burger King farms and the welfare conditions that they live at the farm. Another event was with the obesity epidemic we face in the United States, the blame is redirected at fast food chain restaurants like Burger King, not only for their highly saturated foods, but the portion size of the foods has changed over the decades, for which the Whopper burger has almost 2,000 calories, which is 60% of your calorie intake a day. Next slide, please. Burger King on the web. With a bigger following on Facebook, more promotional advertisement is done through Facebook than other platforms. They are good at responding to their followers on any platform on all days of the week. They use humor on all their platforms to keep their followers engaged. Next slide, please. Burger King structure. In chapter 2 of the textbook, we observe the classical approach theory by Henry Fayol and how the Industrial Revolution brought change that ultimately defined classical management theory. Burger King follows a procedure to make the hamburgers the same way every time. They follow the same protocols, same protocol greetings, which is best way to greet and serve customers. Classical principles can be seen in most fast food restaurants. The standard methods change with industrialization and mechanization, especially in factories with a larger group of people worked that saw the assembly line creation. Next slide, please.
Now moving on to Burger King stakeholders. As we can see, the highest priority stakeholder relies on the customers. Next, the employees, the communities, the suppliers, and finally, the investors. In terms of organizational structures, Burger King has a centralized functional organizational structure. And the advantage for this structure is that it includes a strong global control because the centralization and functional group characteristics create geographic divisions as they're able to enhance different markets throughout the globe. Next slide, please.
Burger King's workplace environment. In chapter 11, emotion in the workplace, emotions as a part of the workplace relationship. When dealing with customers, no matter the emotional state, composure is a crucial part of their work. They smile regardless of what they feel and if they feel. In the fast food industry, like other jobs, workers are required to display certain feelings to meet organizational role expectations. Next slide, please.
Now moving on to Burger King's mission, vision, and values. Burger King's mission statement as follows. They offer reasonably priced quality food, served quickly, in attractive, clean surroundings. Their visions include affordable prices, quality service, and attractive, clean surroundings. And finally, for their values, they emphasize on teamwork, family, excellence, and respect. Next slide, please. So thank you for listening to our presentation. In this presentation, we have gone over McDonald's and Burger King and their organizational structure. From researching both franchises, it is clear that organizational structure evolves over time and how each organization operates differently. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.